He also complimented me on being beautiful and charming. By chance, he and I ended up having an affair without realizing it. Since then, my salary has been 8 to 10 times higher than the initial agreement every month. He also sent me gifts, sometimes shoes, other times designer bags. At first, whatever I wanted, he would buy for me. If I wanted a shirt or pants, he would immediately transfer money for me to buy them. The first thing is that he has a gentle, caring, and thoughtful personality. I felt that when I was with him, I was cherished and pampered in ways I had never experienced before. I am a student who moved from a mountainous area to the city for university. My family is not wealthy. My mother passed away early, and my father struggled to raise 7 children. When I arrived in the city I had always dreamed of, I was truly disillusioned. I handled everything myself, from the enrollment process to finding accommodation, even looking for part-time work. My pay was only around 25,000 VND per hour. Life was very tough, and I had to budget carefully to save money for my tuition fees. At that time, I felt a lot of pressure, often being sick alone with no one around. Even at school, my classmates looked down on me, calling me rural and avoiding me. I was passive in everything because, in my second year of university, the COVID-19 pandemic forced me to quit my job at the cafe. When I didn't know what to do, a fellow student from my hometown introduced me to online tutoring. During this time, the child's father frequently called to check on his child's progress, which I thought was normal, so I didn't pay much attention. Gradually, my relationship with him became closer. We talked very well together, and he complimented me on being beautiful and charming. By chance, we had an affair without realizing it. Since then, my salary has been 8 to 10 times higher than originally agreed. He sent me gifts, and anything I wanted, he would give to me. He was gentle, caring, and thoughtful. When I was with him, I felt loved and cared for in ways I had never experienced before. The second thing is that he is very gentle and caring. I felt that when I was with him, I was cherished and pampered in ways I had never experienced before. At first, I felt shy, but later on, he wanted to get closer. It wasn't just hugging and kissing, but also sexual things. The more I allowed him to do these things, the more he gave me and the more he pampered me. His financial support caused me to change my appearance and look, which was very noticeable. When I returned to class, my classmates were surprised and asked why I was different. And I just said I had a boyfriend who took care of me. But I didn't dare to reveal that he was much older than me. I didn't dare to be friends with him on social media. I lived in silence without any future. At first, I never thought I would become a sugar baby, living off someone else's pampering, especially someone much older than me. I did feel conflicted, but over time I realized many girls date older men, so I thought it was normal. Later, our relationship became more intimate, with physical contact, and, honestly, I accepted it because of the money. I saw many stories online about people being caught in infidelity or being confronted with jealousy, and I was really scared. I asked him about his family, and he told me that he had separated from his wife and only focused on his career and his son, who was in ninth grade and whom I was tutoring. So, I didn't need to worry. We had been together for almost 2 years. I stopped my part-time jobs to focus on this relationship. At first, I couldn't imagine how gentle and caring he could be toward me. When I was sick, he was there to take care of me, buy me medicine, take me on trips, and let me enjoy life. But gradually, I noticed that he was changing. He sent fewer texts, and our dates became less frequent because he was busy with work. Of course, he also stopped meeting my requests. After thinking a lot, I realized that I was becoming like a pet. When he liked me, he would come and embrace me, but when he didn't, he would just push me away. From the beginning, I was never really his girlfriend. Later on, we had many conflicts, and he bluntly told me that once he was bored, he would leave and told me not to dream of anything more. At that point, I felt humiliated and embarrassed, and all the gentleness I had experienced from him vanished. I felt like I had disappeared from his life. After this relationship ended, I faced many financial difficulties. I would have to go back to a tough life, possibly harder than before, because after the pandemic, everything had become more expensive. I felt a lot of regret, especially when I think about how I spent money on luxury items, bought designer clothes, and even underwent cosmetic surgery without considering what would happen in the future. After the relationship ended, I had nothing left except the clothes, belongings, and the appearance that he had invested in me. So, I didn't spend time being sad. I decided to use the appearance he had given me to look for new relationships with other men. Later, when I was caught or when there were jealousy issues, I wasn't surprised anymore. I actually viewed it as just a career accident. It would be over in a few weeks. The reason why I, along with many young girls, became a sugar baby wasn't because of love, but due to financial pressure. Money makes people blind, unable to control themselves, and they dive in like moths to a flame. Earning money easily and leisurely is something no one would refuse. Later, I met a few other men, but now I am wiser. I learned to save the money they gave me and invested in several businesses, such as opening a clothing store and a nail salon. Now, I have retired from this lifestyle to enjoy life. Now, I have a very happy marriage with my current husband. I think that if I didn't become a sugar baby, there would still be others doing it out there. The difference is that I know when enough is enough, when to stop, and happiness will come to those who make the right choices.